Fighting, yeah.
From golf to fighting.
Yeah, we'll change it up. So UFC had I think it's technically a fight night card.
Fight night,
Yeah, over the weekend. They've got the big...
Over the weekend?
Yeah.
No.
They've got the big card coming up. Can you find the Frankie Edgar Sandhagen knockout, please? The three kind of main fights in this, Clay Guido. Yeah, Clay Guido. Sorry.
Guido.
Yeah, had a bounce back in this. He's a long-time vet. Him and Michael Johnson, I think they were saying a stat that almost 70 fights, I think, across the UFC.
Jesus.
Clay, of course, has the record for the most fights, I think, in the UFC as well. Both long-time veterans. It was a bit of a back-and-forth war, but Clay came out on top of this and won this one. Then there's the fight with Edgar and Sandhagen. Once Jimmy gets it, I'll show you how that went. The note is very much Edgar gets murdered by Sandhagen, and you will see why in a minute. And then
the age difference there, I think, there between Frankie Edgar and
yes.
Cody Sandhagen.
Yeah, long-time vet Edgar, always game. But, yeah, I don't know if it's now the game has passed him, and he's moved down in weight. He's still top 5, I'd say, arguably. He did have a good win when he first started in the bantamweight division, but yeah, Sandhagen, different beasts who now with Jan and Sterling, Jan being the champion, and Sterling being, say, the number one contender, they've been on and off booked to for that championship fight. Sandhagen's the next one waiting in the wings, so he'll get probably whoever wins that fight. The final fight of the night, of course, was Overeem fighting Volkov. Started off pretty tentative and close as you'd expect in a heavyweight fight, but Volkov just found a home for his left jab and then just tore Overeem apart, busted him up his nose, cut him. Overeem was bleeding and it was all over in a second. Volkov looking really good. He lost... He was winning, I think, the entire fight against Rosenstrike and then lost in like the last 10 seconds. And then Rosenstrike fought Ngannou and Ngannou blasted him. So Volkov is, I think Overeem was 5 and Volkov was 6 maybe in the rankings.
So
they're hovering around that
changed now, do you know?
Yeah, so Volkov, I think, would move up.
I'll just have a look now.
Ngannou's been booked in the
he's going to fight Stipe?
Against Stipe. That's been booked in the last week as well, so that's happening. I think John Jones is probably going to fight someone in that 3 to 4 range possibly, but that hasn't been officially booked. But
I think Volkov and Overeem just swap. So Volkov goes to 5 and Overeem falls down to 6.
Yeah, so Curtis Blades is one of few, but I think he lost to Ngannou recently as well. So Stipe and Ngannou is the fight to make. But
listening to Ngannou and Joe Rogan this week, my goodness.
What a story. Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I think he's 34 now.
Yep.
He first trained in mixed martial arts 8 years ago. 8 years ago. He was a boxer. Yeah. He wanted to be a boxer growing up, so he has that boxing background. He used to work in the sand mines in Cameroon, sometimes instead of going to school, and always through his summer holidays and weekends, just try and get a few
just lifting sand.
Cameroonian francs together for the family. Had an abusive father. And yeah, people just used to tell him, mate, you're crazy. You can't make it as a boxer. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Really focused on his boxing. And then he had a 14-month trip from Cameroon to get to Paris as an illegal immigrant. And he talks about skipping the borders. So essentially had to go through.
Would you stop in at a border if you pulled up?
Well, apparently got belted a few times.
Wow.
I don't think they fight very fair.
10 to 1 is not in your favour.
That's right, with battens and whatnot. But pretty much had to go from Cameroon. It's a long way to get up to Algeria, Morocco. So I had to go through the Sahara Desert in a truck. Shit. And essentially they're like, well, if the truck breaks down, you just die. Like that's a given.
That's crazy.
And then they were trying to cross. I forget what the strait is called, but I think it's in Morocco to Spain. It's the shortest part of the Mediterranean, and it's only 14 Ks or something across. And he was saying essentially they were in blow-up rafts like he sees in American pools, like kids that would play in these like inflatables, and they tried 8 times to get across before they made it to Spain. And then from Spain he got to Paris, and someone picked him up in Paris and said, "You're a big bloke. You can box. Come train under us, and we'll teach you a little bit about mixed martial arts." That was 8 years ago, and now he's fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world
for a second time as well. Like he's top of the division. Like, he learned a lot losing to Stipe the first time, so he's definitely coming back. Have a look at this. Play that real quick, Jim.
Sandhagen's knockout of Frankie Edgar.
Oh,
good night.
Flying right knee
into
the left jaw here of Frankie Edgar.
He's out.
That is
completely stiff.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a bad one. Yeah, you feel for Eddie, for Frankie in this. Frankie Edgar.
Oh no!
Because it is a bad knockout.
He got put to sleep there.
I think it's only the second time he's been stopped as well in his career. So that's a bad one. But Sandhagen's definitely set it all up. He grabs the back of the head and kind of pulls him down, sees him duck, and then just lights him up. So
hard to come back from some of those once you get hit like that.
Yeah, and Edgar I think's 38 or 39 at this point. Like it's. Yeah, he's still high in the division, so
he's dropped to 7 after that.
Yeah, there's fun fights for him, definitely. There's fun fights for him, but maybe you start thinking about, you don't want to get blasted like that very often.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah.
Sandhagen retains at 2, so you'd think has Jan got a fight lined up?
Sterling.
It is confirmed?
If they've had it booked, and then I think it fell apart for COVID, and then I think they tried rebooking, and then some other stuff happened. But it's the fight to make. Sterling's had an unreal run as well leading into it. So
and then you'd think Sandhagen maybe gets a crack
at the winner. Yeah.
So they're supposed to be fighting 259.
Yes. So
that's the one after
Yes.
Miocic and Ngannou.
Yeah. So that probably leads in my next notes. 258 is not a great card, unfortunately. Usman versus...
no, that is the... 259 is Miocic and Ngannou, isn't it?
Yes. So they're the headliner. Yep. So 258 is Usman versus Burns, which is coming out. That's the fight to make. Kevin Gaskin versus Ian. How do you say his last name?
Hennish.
That's probably the other fight on the card that's of interest. Guys definitely high in the middleweight division. But outside of that, it's not a great card. And I'll be interested to see how Usman and Burns go. I have a feeling that Usman might pants Burns. Former teammates are fighting each other. Burns has got a bit more knockout power maybe, but Usman I think is unreal.
That's an unreal fight there at welterweight. They're both big welterweights, well put together. Like you say, the rest of the card is a bit how you going. Hennish and Gastelum, that's 9 versus 15 in the middleweight division. And you don't see either of those guys pushing Izzy or Whitaker or Paulo Costa.
Well, Izzy beat Gaskin...
Gastelum,
it's a good fight for him to probably climb back up the ranks again.
Because he lost to Izzy after having a run where, like a 3-fight run where he was trying to fight Robert for the belt. So then Izzy beat Kevin and then fought Robert and then of course took the belt. So that's where we're at this point. And he's booked on to fight Jan. Don't make me say his last name in light heavyweight division.
Blachowicz?
Yeah, Blachowicz.
I think that's even right, but it's close.
I think it's like Black.
We should look that up. It's not like I thought I had it right, and then it's not right.
No. I think that's UFC 260.
Polls, am I right?
That's UFC 260, so that's coming up.
Can you try and say Joanna, her surname?
Joanna Shevchenko.
No, the poll.
I've said Valentina Shevchenko. The poll is, I've forgotten her name. I can picture the letters. I just can't remember how it starts.
Shedra J, I think.
Yeah.
There's not too many consonants in there.
Sean can't say Brait. Let's not say too much.
Not too many vowels.
I've said if it's not Steve and Paul, I'm fucked. So. But as a comparison, though, like the 260 card's looking pretty good, but this 259 card is fire. It's got, as we said, Francis versus Stipe. It's got, what was that other one we just mentioned a second ago? It's got 3 title fights, I think, in it.
Oh, really? Can you get the 259 card up there?
Yeah.
Yep. So we got...
Oh, wow. That is...
Okay. Nunes versus Megan Anderson.
Yeah. Oh, that's huge as well because that's at 145, I think.
Featherweight, yep.
Yeah. So, and Megan Anderson, the Australian, so got to back that. Yeah. She's a big lass as well. So
Good luck to her.
See how she goes against Nunes. What's the other one? What's the top 3 fights in that card?
And Sterling.
Jan Sterling.
Jan Sterling's the other championship fight. So those are the 3 big championship fights. And then,
but Miocic and Ngannou's not on that one.
No.
So that's going to be 260, I think.
Israel's on there. Tell me, what are the top 3 fights on 255?
259.
259.
259, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Jan and Israel,
Yep.
Amanda Nunes and Megan.
Oh, okay. So Jan and
Yeah.
Israel on 259. So Stipe and Ngannou must be 260.
Yes.
Either way, flipping it over, it's still fire. Like it's an
Yeah,
excellent.
this
show.
one's going to be
100%.
so-so, and then the next two. Yeah. Great.
Yeah. Jimmy, can you just search for the Bellator light heavyweight Grand Prix? The only reason I bring this up because it's
Actually,
stacked.
yeah, I did see this during the
It
week
is
as well.
absolutely stacked.
It's an
And
interesting.
bring it up and we'll show. You guys read that last point and ask me if you want to cover it or not.
That's a no from me.
Okay.
I don't understand one bit of it.
I don't speak Spanish.
So 260 is also
Volkanovski
and Ortega for the belt.
Oh,
for
yeah,
us
another 2 belts.
Aussie fight fans.
Yeah.
Wollongong represent.
Yeah, big fight for Ortega as well. You got a picture of the bracket? Because there's a nice, bring this over.
I have a picture.
All right, so Ryan Bader and Lyoto Machida are the first one off. Bader was a long-time light heavyweight champion for Bellator and still the heavyweight champion for them. So he had the 2 belts. He dropped the light heavyweight belt to this Russian bloke on the Russian bloke? Yeah, the Russian bloke on the
Nemkov?
right.
Vadim Nemkov.
Yeah. So he's fighting Phil Davis, who's a former light heavyweight from the UFC as well. Lost, I think, to Ryan a couple of times. So he's the Russian guy's got a heavy favourite. Machida, I don't think he's got any chance. Corey Anderson,
Machida would be old.
very old.
He is, yeah.
Simmons is old.
Yeah, Corey Anderson also he just lost to Jan as Jan made his run into the light heavyweight. So
This would be a good one, Sean.
yeah, don't make me say his name. You say that. You say that.
Maka, do you want to have a crack?
No.
Dovletsan Yashimuradov. Anyone want to have a crack at the flag? That's more interesting.
Yashimuradov.
I'm going to say Tajik again. Can you have a look at where
Or is he
he's...
Latvian?
It's not Latvian, I'll
No.
tell you that much right now.
But Corey Anderson, of course,
It's
was
Central Asia.
Yeah, Corey Anderson, of course, was I think like third in the light heavyweight division when he left, and you know he had a really good run and then got knocked out by Jan, and then of course left to Bellator.
Turkmenistan.
Turkmenistan. So close to
Yeah.
Tajiks.
But look at this bottom right. Look at this fight in the bottom
so
right.
Anthony Johnson, Yoel Romero.
The Rumble versus
Is this
Yoel
two
Romero.
former UFC champions? Did Romero ever win?
No, both didn't actually win a belt. So both had multiple heavyweight fights.
And both went for a bit because Rumble definitely had a
He lost twice
to Jones.
To John.
No, he didn't ever actually fight Jones. He lost twice to DC.
DC.
And Romero lost twice to
John.
Robert Whitaker and then once to Israel. So
Mm-hmm.
he's had a bunch of, but you know that's an excellent fight. You'd think Rumble size-wise might have it over him.
Yeah, you'd think it'd be a fair bit bigger.
But if you follow it, you're thinking like even say if the Russian wins or Phil Davis wins, either way you get like Rumble versus one of them or Romero versus one of them. Great card. I think Corey Anderson's probably going to win his, and I'd say Ryan Bader wins his. But Corey Anderson, Ryan Bader, great fight. And
He's
then
backing all the Yanks.
yeah, then Corey Anderson versus say Rumble. That's an excellent fight. Like there's great fights, and even like if Machida makes it through, great name there. Like there's it's stacked.
What's the go? Bellator coming across a bit more money. They're getting UFC guys after they retire.
I think it kind of works the diff. Oh, maybe it's not. I thought maybe some of the higher guys get paid. I think the bracket's smaller. So like in the UFC, the lowest guys get paid shit all and the highest guys get paid a lot, kind of like boxing. Whereas the Bellator is kind of a bit squished more.
Even
But
spread.
the big difference is Bellator allows sponsorship, whereas UFC took that all away. So you could be making a bit more money on the side too.
Yeah, right.
Plus, all these guys would be named guys too. So these guys would be making good money.
Where do these fights happen in April? Do you know? Are they in the States?
Have to be
Yes.
Vegas. It's only a certain amount of states that allow
Yeah, I'd say it'd be
Nevada and
considering 6 of the 8 guys have
American.
no 7.
Connecticut.
1, 2, 3,
5.
4,
Connecticut.
4.
1,
Connecticut.
2, 3, 4,
All
5.
4 fights on both of
Five-
them.
five US guys.
No, 4. That's
Count.
Romero's from Cuba.
Oh, Cuba. Yeah, no, that's close enough. Sorry.
Cuba, America, same shit. What is this, Miami?
Yeah. Yes, you are right. I think it is in the US, but yes,
Connecticut,
this will finish officially finishes in October. So they'll have the first fights
3 fights.
Yeah, they have the first fights in April, then they'll have the next in July, and then it looks like they'll get a full 3-month camp to do October.
Might have to keep an eye on Bellator for us.
Yeah. Like this is awesome for Bellator.
Yeah,
I love this.
What do you think about this format? Like, obviously, it's something new to the mainstream.
Yeah, Bellator have been doing the tournaments for a while. They did the heavyweight tournament, which Beta won. We beat Fedor. So they've done the tournament system quite a lot, and UFC used to do the tournament system back in the day. But yeah, it's an interesting kind of format how it all kind of works. They used to do the tournament over a couple of days, or they do it in a fight card, which kind of doesn't work. This kind of works how you can set matchups and you can see where you're going. You can see these 8 guys at the end of the year. You'll have a light heavyweight champion, and it might be the guy retaining, or it might be not. But your heavyweight champion, your champion, in this is going to have 3 fights this year.
Are they the top 8 seeds, or they've picked 8 fighters, or is there a seeding in Bellator?
Hard to say, but I'd say even though they brought a lot of some guys come over, they're really well known fighters. So yes, I'd say these are probably your top. I'd say the Russian guy is number 1, Beta's 2, Davis is probably top 5. Machida, I would say he's the 8th. He'd be the lowest. But then the other guys, big names in UFC, and they come across and definitely can bring eyes to this.
April 9, that first 2 fights occur.